Hey everyone, I'm Tammy Davis and I really appreciate you joining me today. If you're new to my channel, I'm an internationally certified master clinical phytotherapist with a background in pharmacology, aromatherapy, and the continued study of plant constituents and their mechanism of action on the human genome as it relates to drug development. And this is extraordinarily important when it comes to understanding how to integrate all of the different remedies that we have, whether we're talking about medications and herbs, herbs and oils, or a combination of all of them. It really is necessary to understand how they work together in order to get optimal results. And in fact, that actually brings me to the reason I'm doing today's video. And that is a particular client of mine has been struggling, and I've done a video which you'll see in a while. I'm kind of scheduling the way I'm putting these out. I'm currently getting a lot of information as far as what I want to share, but I don't want to just like inundate you with it. So there will be a video a little bit later that you'll see that'll kind of that's kind of connected. But at any rate, this gentleman is struggling with a lot of some vascular issues, and when he to kind of give you a little bit of a background, we've had to stop everything for right now because there was some significant interactions that were occurring with anything that that he was taking. And interestingly enough, and again, this is something I talk about in the next video, but his impression was at the time that everything was all natural. So natural doesn't always mean that it's safe. And again, so it doesn't make any difference if it's a natural remedy and you're combining natural remedies. There can be interactions that occur that would be detrimental to the system. And oftentimes that occurs when we are duplicating the mechanism of action. What I mean by that is if we're actually trying to affect a particular system or symptom, and everything that we're doing is all directed in that at that, like that's our target, then we've created instability, and it will backfire on us. So in his case, I was working with him on something, and he started doing something all on his own, and the two worlds collided, and here we are taking a break from it all and giving his body a chance to recover. In the meantime, his question to me this morning was, or his statement rather, was that when he sits for, like when he's up and moving around, his ankles, which are giving him the most problem right now, are fine. But once he sits for any length of time, everything kind of stiffens up and becomes painful and burning. So, well, the first response that I had to that was it's the lymph system backing up and, causing edema. And his question to me was, well, why would my lymph system be backing up? And it brought me to the point of just thinking that, well, first of all, when I talk to you guys, I often refer to the digestive system as the primary target during stress, that the digestive system is significantly impacted, slowing down, and affecting the way our body breaks down foods. But I don't really ever talk about the lymph system. And so my first response to him was, well, it's the lymph system. And his question was, well, why? Well, now I know this guy, and I know he chronically worries about a lot of things. He's a thinker. I mean, a big, big thinker. So, my first reaction was mental and emotional stress. But then I started thinking about it even further. And when we're moving, where the muscles are contracting and it's actually pumping the lymph system. But when we're not moving, the lymph system doesn't move. And so it brought me to do this video for you because the lymph system is also significantly impacted by stress. It makes it actually stagnates the lymph system. So it really makes it sluggish. And so if we're moving, of course, there's that physical relief of the stress. And so it actually, like I said, helps to pump the lymph. But once you sit, it will back up. And so he was wondering why. Why is this happening? And the best answer that I have, besides the environmental factors that I talk about all the time, it's also that his body's in a healing crisis. He is healing, and that is stressful to the system. So it is going to be, it's producing, he's moving, it's breaking down tissue that's trying to heal. So there's a backlash, so to speak, because he can't come off of his feet. That's what he does. He works on his feet, so he can't stay off of his feet for any great length of time. And so what happens is there's a minor breakdown of tissue, then the body has to repair itself. So there's this constant give and take, if you will, that's slowing the process down, but it's continuing to stress the system and therefore slow the lymph system down. And this may seem counterintuitive to most people, that we would, that it's slowing down. And honestly, I don't have any full explanation at this moment as to why that is beneficial. I will just say that I trust nature, and oftentimes, if the lymph is congested or stagnant, it would seem to be reason why, it's producing an excess amount of fluids due to the inflammation that's the result of the stress that's occurring. But nonetheless, it is uncomfortable, and this again is good reason, or a good argument rather, as to why it's important for us to know what's happening in the system so that we can actually work with nature. The bottom line is that I really want everyone to feel as good as possible, and with the lymph system stagnating, there's a number of things that you can do, and I'm going to put a link in the description box to a yoga practitioner that I absolutely appreciate, and I just love her technique. Her, I had a friend join me there for a moment. At any rate, her name is Michelle Goldstein, and her yoga channel is Heart Alchemy, and I'm going to put a link like I said, in the description box, because she does offer some, if she wants to talk, she offers some explanation as to what the lymph is. He's big. As well as how to do some massage for yourself to actually move the lymph, which I think is exceptionally important. If you are also in a position to be able to do yoga from time to time, I highly encourage that. You don't necessarily have to follow Michelle. I want you to see what she talks about with regards to the lymph. At the same time, though, just yoga in general is very, very good for moving the lymph system. And it's great for detoxing, because respiration is a form of detox. And so the practice of breathing is very beneficial for helping to eliminate toxins from the body, and helping to move the lymph system, like I said. Also, getting regular massage is another good thing. Now, there's a point to all of this, because this particular gentleman, there is very specific oils that we could actually use, but right now, because we're having to let his system clear, I cannot use anything, or I will not use anything. I could, but I just don't want to take the chance of having even more issues flare up for him. And so I've created a list of oils that I'm going to share with you right now. And in fact, I will say that there's a study that I shared with my Facebook group, Synergistic, that actually explains the study that was done to identify a number of oils that are influential on the CYP452C9 liver enzyme. And the reason that's important is because that particular enzyme actually is responsible for metabolizing majority of our medications. And I'll get to that in just a moment, because you might say, well, medications and herbs don't mean anything, but they actually do. There was some school of thought that the oils didn't affect the liver enzymes for a long time. They're subsequently finding out that that's not the case. I know that one of my original mentors has come forward and said that grapefruit oil is not the same thing as grapefruit juice, because we know grapefruit juice and the fruit itself, it's not recommended for it with a number of medications. But this man said that it didn't count for the grapefruit oil, and I have subsequently discovered that that's no longer an accurate statement. So grapefruit oil is a great oil for moving the lymph system. At the same time, if you are currently taking any medications that have it, if you're currently taking any medications basically that have an influence on the, like I said, CYP450 2C9 liver enzyme, that's 2C9 is the critical number, the little part there. If you are taking any medication that has that, that's influencing that particular liver enzyme, then you are not going to want to use grapefruit oil. You're not going to want to use carrot seed, which is also another good one. So before I get into how do I want to do this, I'm going to list the oils with you here as the ones that are great for moving the lymph. And then I'm going to indicate which ones I would not recommend in the place of with medications. Very, like I said, the medications that you are taking, and sorry for hesitating. I didn't lose my train of thought. I'm just trying to figure out how it would make the best way to deliver this message. But that said, the CYP452C9 liver enzyme is responsible for metabolizing a majority of our medications. So if you are currently taking a medication that is metabolized on that liver enzyme, that's what I wanted to say. If it is metabolized on the 2C9, then you will not want to take some of these oils. But in the meantime, I'm going to list the oils and then indicate to you which ones I recommend or don't recommend and why. Okay, so we'll go from there. So the ones that are really good for the lymph are grapefruit, carrot seed, cinnamon leaf, clove bud, bay laurel, also known as laurel leaf. Then there's lemongrass and ravensara. Not ravensara. There's a big difference. It's ravensara. And so those would be the ones that are good for the lymph system. Now, the ones that I prefer for the lymph system are bay laurel, like I said, also known as laurel leaf, and grapefruit. Those are the predominant ones. I also like carrot seed because of its influence. It's really very beneficial for helping to restore liver function. The other ones, again, are dependent upon what's going. I mean, all of these are dependent upon what's going on with the individual and any particular family history that we might want to take into consideration. So, but my preferences are, like I said, bay laurel and grapefruit for moving lymph at this point. But again, there are other reasons why you would include other ones. Again, depending on what the person or yourself is presenting with. But I'll list those again. It's grapefruit, bay laurel, also known as laurel leaf, carrot seed, clove, cinnamon leaf, lemongrass, and ravensara. Now, I'm going to give you, let me think here. The ones that affect the 2C9 liver enzyme are grapefruit, carrot seed, clove, cinnamon, and ravensara. Bay laurel does not. At the same time, though, bay laurel is actually a blood thinner. So as is clove and cinnamon leaf. So but in the meantime, just for the sake of we'll just stick with the liver enzymes for right now. The ones that affect 2C9 are grapefruit, carrot seed, cinnamon leaf, clove, and the ravensara. The lemongrass actually happens to affect the 2B6. I have to make a little note there. The 2B6 is the one that the lemongrass influences. It's metabolized on that one. So, and the reason this is important, and what's interesting to me is I just did a podcast on CBD, and I'm actually going to do a video on CBD as well with a little bit more in-depth information as to what my opinion of CBD is. And but just for the sake of this particular video, we're talking CBD has nothing to do with the lymph system. If anybody wants to tell you that it does, they're mistaken. CBD is really known for its inhibitory effects on liver enzymes as a whole. So CBD is not recommended basically in combination with a number of things unless you actually know what you're doing. So if you're using CBD, please use caution because the long-term effects are questionable. But as far as for the point of this video, I'm more concerned about the essential oils. So now, so we've identified the ones that affect the 2C9. Lemongrass affects the 2B6. Bay laurel does not affect the liver enzymes as such that they've discovered so far, although it is a blood thinner, very much like cinnamon leaf and clove bud. So if you are taking medications that have blood thinning qualities to it, it's not at all recommended that you use any of those particular oils. Like I said, the bay laurel, the clove, and the cinnamon leaf. So that is a good reason why we want to be careful with the oils. Now, if you're not using medication, you want to use caution with other herbs. And again, you would want to look into your herbs as far as, if you've got, let's just say, if you're using herbs to flush the lymph system, just don't use oils to use that flush the lymph system. That's the best piece of information that I can provide for you. If you're having lymph issues or you're concerned about your lymph system and you feel that it's stagnant, your better bet is to go get a massage, a regular massage, to keep those muscles moving. You do want to exercise. It's not just about weight loss or strength or flexibility. It's about moving those muscles. It's about helping your body actually flush the vascular system. Because as I've talked about in countless times, and if you're new to my channel, I'm all about the synergy. This is the reason why my business name is Synergistic. It's the synergy within nature. There is a working relationship among chemicals throughout nature. Plant constituents are a primary chemical. We have chemicals in our body. And if we don't pay attention to what we're doing, we're creating instability. So through mindful use of plant constituents, you can actually create stability. But it's when the body becomes unstable, and so therefore under times of stress and the lymph system shuts down and the digestive system slows down, you've got instability. So we can bring stability to the system. And if it's not warranted to use essential oils, then you could do these other things. Like I said, the lymph massage, go get a regular massage, practice yoga, get out for a walk, move so that you can actually get the system flowing and actually begin to help reduce the edema. Also, I would also recommend electrolytes. Again, Vega Hydrator has a great electrolyte mix that you can add to your water. It's reasonably inexpensive given the amount that if you buy bottled electrolyte water, it gets really, really pricey. But if you just bought the powder and added it to your drinking water, you'd be doing yourself a world of good because that actually helps to keep the system moving. Because but we don't want to just drink a lot of plain water because we can actually begin to flush these minerals from our system. So adding the minerals to it is a very essential component to helping to keep inflammation and edema down and moving the lymph system. And I guess that would be it for the time being. I'm going to, like I said, I put a document in my Synergistic group regarding a study that was done and how they went about doing it on the oils that actually demonstrates the validity of what I'm saying. And if you're interested, you're welcome to email me. I'm happy to share it with you as well. If you don't want to join the Facebook group, in that group, we get real specific about essential oils in order to develop an understanding and how it works on a unique basis, because there's no one size fits all. And as I've alluded to this entire message, it depends on what you're doing and how you want to incorporate these oils. And what's going on with your body. I mean, because the lymph system could be stagnated. It could be that if you're like living with, let's say, Epstein-Barr or a chronic virus flare-up. Epstein Barr is a great example. Ravensara would be a really good one to use if you're not taking a lot of medications, or if you're not using any medication. If you do just happen to have a virus, such as a really significant cold or flu, you can use Ravensara for that to actually help keep the lymph system moving. So there are times when these work. It's just a matter of understanding what's going on with you and how to implement them. And again, if you're taking medications, it's extraordinarily important to know which ones you're taking, how they're being metabolized in the body in order to be able to incorporate them. And oftentimes you probably will only be able to use the oils, in which case that's the reason why I want you to check out Michelle's video and find yourself a massage therapist who is able to do massage for you. You can also do your own self-lymph massage to kind of keep things going, moving in between. So let me know if you have any questions. I'll put the link to my Facebook group in the description box below. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at TammyDavis8. My email is tammy@synergistic.com. That's in the description box below as well. And you're always welcome to join me on my website, which is now a password protected blog just for the sake of privacy. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to hearing from you. Take care now.